Welcome back, everybody, to We Are TPM with Kyle Teixeira, myself, and sitting across from me is John Teixeira again. Today, we are going to discuss how rising interest rates affect rents. Now, if you have any questions about how that happens or what anything we're going to talk about today, or really just want to talk to us or discuss anything about your rental portfolio or life, give us a call at 817-818-9039 or shoot us an email at showmethemoney@weartpm.com. So let's get into it. How do rising interest rates affect rents, John? Do they correlate at all?
They do, but let's set something up first. You and I didn't talk about this. So I'm going to throw this little wrinkle at you right now, okay? Did you know that 1/3 of rental properties right now are being bought by institutional investors?
I did know that.
No, yeah, 1/3 of rentals, yes. Sorry, I want to make sure I got my facts right.
It's actually down from a year ago a little bit. Slightly.
Okay, all right. So we're talking about the remaining 2/3 are bought by whom? Average Joes like you and I, right? We're not average, but you know.
Yeah. We're not institutional either, but yeah.
That's right.
We haven't been institutionalized yet, so no.
Yeah, so let's get into it, Kyle. What's the biggest way? I mean, I know we've talked about demand and all that. What's the biggest way that that the market is affected and the rental rates are affected by the rising interest rates?
Yeah, so the question itself brings up the question of, okay, do interest rates correlate with rents, right? Because when we're talking about rising interest rates, we're talking about the effect on affordability in the purchase market. As interest rates go up, it makes the affordability of a house go up. And what that means is, say 6 months ago, when rates were significantly lower and you were trying to buy a $500,000 house and you made a certain amount of money. The $500,000, let's assume the house is still $500,000. You still make the same amount of money. Nothing's changed other than these rising interest rates. Well, getting qualified at, say, 3%, lets you purchase a certain amount, a significantly different amount than getting qualified at 6%. So if you're near your cap, it makes it less affordable. So in your monthly payment and all that. So it pushes people out of the purchase market. And when you're looking for a home and get pushed out of the purchase market, where does that land you?
Well, let's do some math here today, because I got some stats that I read just this morning about this very thing. So to answer your question, where does it land you? It lands you
in the rental market.
In the rental market, exactly. Yes. So there's which to your point pushes up the demand for more rentals. There's more tenants out there that would normally be buyers.
In a rental market that we've talked about a lot recently that is already stressed with a high demand and a low supply. So now we're pushing even more demand into the low supply rental market, and in turn, the simple answer is in turn that even higher demand is going to continue to bump rents up. But,
all right. What's our median right now? What do we want to use?
You like
our
the
median?
stats.
Is about 3. Our median is probably been pushed up. I'm going to use 320. I think that's a median from a couple of years ago. 1 year ago, the average interest rate was 3.11.
Mm-hmm.
And for a $320,000 house, that would have cost you $1,368 in mortgage and interest.
A month.
Per month. That doesn't include taxes and insurance. That's just your mortgage payment.
And then they're looking at what you can afford per month. So you could have afforded that house at $1,341, what you said? Something like that? No?
Yeah, $1,328. I already forgot. I already moved on from it. Sorry.
It's hard to do a comparison if you forget the number.
I forgot the number. It's 13 something.
We're going to go with 1341.
Okay, so I don't remember. So the current average is 5 something, and I forgot the something.
5.5.
Is it 5.5?
Yep.
Okay. That sounds about right. I think it was 5.44 now that I think about it, but it's fine. 5.5. $1,800.
$1,800. So what changed?
$1,817. The interest rate changed.
You're still at 320. We're still buying a $320,000 house.
That's right.
But now our lender's looking at if we can afford $1,800 a month versus if we could have afforded
$1,327.
Exactly, and
that's $500 difference.
Yeah, I mean it's
so let's say let's work just to continue this conversation. Let's work this backwards. Now we're being mortgage people, right? what if I qualified for that 13? Let's say my max was at 1350. So because of that, a year ago I was looking at a $320,000 house.
Well,
but my qualification is still at that monthly amount. I'm no longer looking at 320.
Well, let's take that extreme back a little bit. Well, it's not an extreme. It's the reality right now. Is we're not talking about a year ago. We're talking about 3 months ago.
Yeah.
3 months ago. So people that were shopping 3 months ago in this hard market to find a house that may not, and there's a lot that couldn't find one, couldn't get under contract because it's so competitive. Well, now if their rate lock expired, what they qualify for has significantly dropped because of what we just described.
In the example we just used, they would lose about $100,000 in qualification.
Yeah, and now let me ask
while prices are going up.
Now let me ask you about how people operate. Do you think that if they were just looking at $320,000 houses for a month or two, and now they have to go to looking at $220,000 houses, that they're going to go buy that?
They're going to rent.
No, yeah, they're going to rent.
They're going to rent.
You sure your wife wouldn't do that?
Because let's see, I was barely able to afford a 4-bedroom that was 2,500 square feet in a nice part of town that I wanted to be in, and now you're telling me I need to buy a 3-bedroom, 1-bath in a crappy part of town. It isn't happening.
And I'm not, my monthly payment's not changing either. So, yeah, no, people don't like hearing that. So they're going to go wait for, they're going to go make the decision. We're going to wait for another market because they just rapidly went from shopping in one market to a completely different market.
So some people have to wait. What about the people that don't have to wait? Is that a smart decision?
Well, specify your question. Is what a smart decision?
Some people have to wait to until something changes in their situation, whether it's market, interest rates, their income, whatever. Something needs to change in order for them to proceed with the purchase. There's some people, I think more people that don't have to wait. They're just choosing to wait because they think something's going to change.
Yeah, and then there's the people that will appreciate the statistics of it, right? Okay, so if this one person's going to go in the rental market or whatever, they want to wait, right? They want to wait till interest rates go back down. The other person's going to just buy the house at the high interest rate and still, get that appreciation and also wait for rates to go back down, and they're going to refinance. So the difference is they bought that house and had it for while they were waiting. So I think that's the two ends of it are. Everyone's going to want to wait for these rates to go down, and we'll be refinancing again like the last 2 years of the refinance frenzy. But
wouldn't count on that happening.
No, we are currently not in a scenario where you're counting on rates going back down.
Anybody who listens to us, I don't know, is there anybody that listens to us regularly? If they do, they would know that that I rolled my eyes in my head when you said high interest rates, because we are talking about 5.5.
Yeah. Well, I didn't call them high. I said rapidly rising. I mean, to double in 2-3 months. How many times has that ever happened? I mean, that's the rare case.
They're talking about 0.5 point interest rate increases at every session. How often is there a session? How often do they do that, Kyle?
There's 3 more meetings this year.
And they're talking about so this year we're talking about going up another 1.5 then. That's the rumor that I've heard.
Correct. Yeah, they took 75
We're
basis
in
points.
June right now. So by the end of the year is what you're saying, we should be at an average of 7.
They took 75 basis points off the table, but at this point, you can't. What the Fed says changes at a whim. Whatever they want to do.
It's hard,
I mean,
yeah. Well, it's almost inevitable with our current inflationary situation that we're in that those interest rates would go up. That's the healthy thing to have happen. It just affects other things a little bit more negatively. So, which brings us back. What? Go ahead.
It's all about the environment. They look at it. It's all about the environment. Yep. I mean, they probably should have done this a year ago, but that's what everyone can. Hindsight's 2020.
Stock market is people are relearning again that the stock market is a gamble and that's not the best investment. It's fun while everything's going up and not so fun while everything's crashing, and so everyone's relearning that lesson again. So Kyle, how is all of it? The current market which includes our current state of supply and demand, is still affecting our current market.
Mm-hmm.
Rising interest rates. Let's throw in the stock market and all the talk about the R word. There's tons of people are throwing that around like crazy right now.
Mm-hmm.
How is all that affecting our future rental rates?
It is, I mean, it's putting some strain on the rental market, and that's really what it is. We're talking about housing here, and you can't just, fluctuate at a whim the supply of available housing. You can make more housing and all that, but it doesn't take a week. It takes months. And even if you increase the supply, well, now if the purchase market is having these rising interest rates and pushing people out and dumping them into the rental market, you still have a increasing demand in the rental market, and that causes rising rents. Just like all the other factors the last 2-3 years cause rising rents, because it's towards the end of the markets that stop their, I wouldn't call them fluctuations, but rapid rise, because people have to get out of the easy capital has to stop before rates stop easy capital going out. And then now that capital is not as cheap, investors stop buying as much stuff, and then home prices start to stabilize, and people get pushed out of the purchase market.
And so we talked about the 1/3 institutional, 2/3. The 2/3 are more easily scared. The 1/3 institutional buyers probably are not scared, and they keep plugging on.
Their interest rate's still zero because they're using cash.
They're using cash. That's my point. Yeah. So they're plugging on. And also, they're not as worried about the market, is my point. Mm-hmm. Where the other 2/3 are susceptible to the whims of what people talk about a housing bubble and crash and stuff that I don't believe is ever going to happen. But people believe it, and it makes people wait and stop and stop taking action. So
and just like them using cash. Well, there comes a point where the institutional investor will stop dumping as much cash into buying property and rental properties, because when rates were zero and when they're that low, that's why institutional cash goes so quickly into the real estate market, because that's where they get their returns. Well, when rates aren't zero, you can get returns. Institutions get capital returns off those interest rates. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, now you're digging in. Now you're blowing my mind. I think I had some brain cells just blow up while you were talking there.
Well, that all helps the tug and pull, But at the end of the day,
This is why we have you here, Kyle.
Rents increasing is unfortunately the last thing to slow down. And this is a new set of factors. There's not a lot of precedent we can go, or historical precedent we can go back and look that there was this many economic factors before to this extreme extent and say this is what the rental market did.
Yeah, there's a lot about our current housing market, whether you're talking about purchasing or renting, that I think that's true for. Like you just made a really good point that there isn't a precedent in history where all of the factors that are happening right now have come together at the same time, or at least not to the extreme level that it's happening, right? And I just reiterated what you just said. Hey, real life example. How's this? I like to do this for people. They give them a picture of what we're talking about as far as rents and where they're going. We just listed a really standard 4-bedroom home in Arlington. Nothing too special about it, right? I could say a street name to jog your memory, right?
Sure.
The most recent one that we just did, I had within 1 week, I had to shut it down. I had 17 applications. Now, the impressive part isn't so much that I had 17 applications, because that's happened before. The impressive part is that this home we were renting this really average home for $2,300 a month. Okay. Nothing impressive about this home whatsoever. It was in good condition, nothing wrong with it, but also nothing impressive about it, really. Okay. And $2,300 a month. It probably would have been lucky to get $1,500 a month for it. I want to say 2 years ago, maybe
3 years ago, but yeah,
2-3 years ago, something like that. That's how quickly it's gone up. But what was really most eye-opening to me about the 17 applications is the amount of them that were like what you would consider A quality, high-level applications. Like, I would have taken almost all of those applications in 2 seconds for any of our homes, right? They qualified in every way possible. And it's not normal for us to have that. Normally, we get a high number of applications so that we can weed out 2 or 3 that are really high quality and make that best decision for our clients that we can. Gosh, we had so many choices of high quality applicants in this particular home. It's insane.
And it's a testament to what we just said.
Yep.
And a lot of them even told us this. They just left the purchase market.
Yep.
They were very qualified looking for 4-bedroom houses in Arlington to buy, and those houses are worth
tired.
like $350, $400,
Buyer fatigue.
They're tired and interest rates went up. They lost their lock or whatever it is. They got pushed out of the market based on affordability, and
and a lot of people sold their house.
4-bedroom house, and
a lot of people sold their house, right? A lot of people operated on faith, sold their house and said, what are you going to do next? They didn't have an answer for that, but the fallback was renting.
It's true.
And that's what they're doing.
Yeah, it's very true. And, when people are thinking about selling their houses, they're not, they should, but I'm not saying every time they do, consider, okay, well, this is the purchase market blowing up, and that's why I want to sell. What's happening with the rental market that I'm about to go jump into? Oh, it's also gone up. So they generally correlate for a lot of reasons we're not going to go into right now, but we've talked about on a lot of our podcasts. So, but at the end of the day, those are the main reasons that interest rates
are affecting rental rates.
Rising interest rates are affecting rents is demand. It's supply and demand, and it's pushing demand into a low supply already. So
love it. Good discussion, Kyle. Hey, I got an idea for next week.
What's your idea?
We talked about how just the opposite is happening with short-term rentals, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing a little bit lower demand. Let's dive into that a little bit more next week.
Yeah, let's do it. And that, a lot of these things, affordability, life's getting more affordable right now, right?
No, it's not. It is not getting more affordable.
I don't think anyone's ever said that in the last couple of weeks. So.
Unless, I have to say this, the only people feeling really good about their financial picture right now are people that are heavily invested in real estate. Feeling pretty good about it right now. Now, if they need cash and they're not liquid enough or something, or they can't get money out, then maybe some of those people aren't feeling quite as good because it's not an ATM machine. We've talked about this. However, that's not why you should be investing in real estate, and you should be feeling really good about your position. If the more heavily invested you are, the better you should be feeling about everything that's happening right now.
Well, and for years, we've always said that, one of the main reasons to invest in real estate, if nothing else, is to beat inflation, right? Well, it's never been more true.
Beat inflation in the stock market.
Yeah, beat the market, beat all the markets, right? And make your money still worth the same amount of money in 10 years. That whole argument has been kicked to an extreme, and it's still true. So
yeah, I love it.
All right, well, I think we beat this dead horse a little bit, but
yeah, it was great discussion, Kyle. So. Good discussion. I can't wait to talk. I'm looking forward to discussing short-term rentals next week and how the current market is affecting the rate, occupancy, demand for it, and all that good stuff. Because we're really invested in that too.
Because it sounds like it's just a different term length, right? But it's not. It's a market like the rental market's different. A market of necessity. Short-term rentals are a market of leisure. Yep. So. I look forward to talking about that too. But thank you guys for checking in again. If you have any questions or want to just speak to us, because we like to just talk, as you can see, 817-818-9039. Shoot us an email at showmethemoney@wearetpm.com. And we are out.
We are out.